Welcome to Exploring with D-Rob. Let's go. Good evening, welcome back. Don't even sound right, does it, me saying good evening? As you probably noticed, there was a couple places that wasn't Pennsylvania there at the beginning. Started the day early at 2:15 a.m. Made a couple stops in West Virginia on the way up. Stopped at Babcock State Park to photograph the grist mill. And then stopped by Blackwater State Park, photographed Blackwater Falls and Ellicala Falls. As you might recognize, this is Adams Falls at Ricketts Glen State Park. I was able to make a trip up to the northeast again. It rained here some this morning. Looks like the flow's still going to be kind of low. It's getting close to sunset right now. Figured I'd hit Adams Falls real quick this evening. That way I can hit the loop. Hopefully be in Lake Rose parking lot at sunrise in the morning. Get an early start. Ricketts Glen is one of my favorite areas to visit. Glad I got to come up again this fall. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to or not. Looks like color's going to be a lot better than last year. Hopefully the wind don't knock a lot of leaves off overnight. Next time you see me, I guess we'll see you in the morning. Good morning. Just after sunrise here at the Lake Rose trailhead. Only, can't say for the truck, but only 2 other vehicles in the parking lot, so should be low traffic early this morning anyway. It's going to be pretty windy, looks like, but color's looking good, so let's go photograph some waterfalls. Let's go. Not a big fan of being in the woods on a windy day. Hopefully it's mostly up here on the ridge top. Once I get started over the hill, hopefully we get out of it a little bit. It's also what I'm hoping for too, that way the leaves ain't blowing everywhere. Hopefully get some good shots today. Kind of figure that'll be a problem with the photography. All the leaves whipping around and everything, but maybe we'll get lucky. Coming up on our first trail junction here. I'm going to do like I usually do. Head down the Gaia Glen side. Go down this side to Waters Meet. Hit the 3 falls below that. Then come back up to Waters Meet. head up the other side and see what time it is. If I have time, I may go back down to Waters Meet and come back up this side, but otherwise I'll head across the Highland Trail there like I usually do. The color's looking really nice. A lot of color on the ground already too, so should be no lack of color today. Last year I was a little bit early. There's still a lot of green. This year looks like there's at least plenty of yellow. Pretty excited to get down here and photograph these falls. Coming up on our water crossing here, we get to kind of get a look, see what flow's gonna be like. We got a nice little steady flow, not heavy, so some of the falls could be kind of lower flow today. Still plenty of water for some photography though. Looks like winds have done some damage on some trees up here and really shook some leaves out of the smaller trees. Still looking good down through there in front of us. At our first falls. Mohawk Falls. Not much going on this little side falls here. I've heard people call this naturally buttermilk falls, like there's not 10 of those, but as far as I know, there's no official name for this little side falls here. Got some nice color here, so I thought I'd stop and give it a shot. Got to talk to a guy there at the first falls. He's from over around Philadelphia. This was his first time here. He's in for a real treat with this color. Look like I'm leading the pack, I think, so I'm gonna head on down here before anybody else shows up. Try to photograph Oneida Falls. Side profile of Oneida Falls. As you can see, they're getting a little movement in the branches. Hopefully that'll be a little less as we head down the hill. But I'm going to step on down here below the falls, try to get some of these cascades and color in the foreground. Looks like what I was afraid of is going to be the case here. Probably just a tad late on the color up here on top of the hill. As you can see, a lot of the trees have already lost their leaves. A lot of good color still on the ground. Flow's pretty decent too, so I think I still come away with a couple decent shots. Here's a couple looks at Oneida Falls. Our next falls here is Cayuga Falls. The falls like this, it's kind of cascade type. These look better at low flow in my opinion. You can tell a little more about the falls. Got a lot more detail in it. Got a couple of shots from the side here. I'm going to step down in front of the falls, see if I can't get some shots with these cascades in the foreground. Plenty of color on the ground there around those cascades too, so should turn out all right. If they did, here's the shot. Looks like I may have to go in closer too, because you see those leaves and bubbles swirling around there. Over on the far side, got a little swirl going on. Might have to see if we can do some long exposure tricks. down from the top of Ganaga Falls. Ganaga Falls is listed at 94 feet. And no surprise that partly to mostly cloudy days, looking like a whole lot of blue sky and sunshine right now. I wouldn't expect any less than me photographing waterfalls. Anyway, I'm gonna work around the area here, see if I can come away with some new comps. Wind and sun's definitely playing a factor in photography. A lot of nice color though. If any of the shots turned out, here they are. One last look at Ganaga Falls. There's been a time or two I've not photographed this falls just because it's the smallest one here, but here's a look at Seneca Falls. See Ganaga Falls back there in the background through the trees. I think I came away with a decent shot. Here it is. Well, as you can see, the sun has decided to join us. So since it showed up, I attempted a 15mm shot at f/16 for a Sunstar. Not sure if it'll turn out worth anything or not. Wind's still reaping pretty good. Anyway, here's a look at Delaware Falls. Not sure how well it turned out. Got a little swirl action going on over on that far side. This is kind of down at the base of Delaware Falls. And if I turn around behind me here, this is the top of Mohican Falls. Another little falls on a side drainage. This runs in just below Mohican Falls. Pretty photogenic little falls, so I got a shot or two. Not sure how they turned out. Definitely got those logs there to kind of block part of it. But as I was shooting this falls, not real sure where it's at, but somewhere down the trail behind me I heard a big tree go crashing down. So hopefully that didn't wind up in the falls anywhere down through there. Kind of looking like I've made a trade-off. Not one I'm really excited about, but looks like the wind's laid down some, but the sun is high and bright. Not sure how some of these shots are going to turn out from here down to Water's Meet because of the sun, but I'll see what I can come away with. Here's a look at Mohican Falls. Since there'd already been some traffic down the trail, wasn't sure if I was going to get to see any of them today, but spotted one of my little friends over here. Hey there, buddy. Here's a look at Conestoga Falls. Out of the times I've been here, I don't think I've ever photographed this falls. Kind of liking this upper cascade of it though, so may work down there and try to get a shot. Glad I came over here now, because right here at the base of this cascade, got some nice swirling action going there. Composition similar to this here. Turned out worth anything. Here's the shot. Here's a look at Tuscarora Falls. Wish that big log jam wasn't there. This is a really photogenic falls though. Got a lot of nice yellow around it. I think I came away with some good shots. Here they are. Here's a look at Erie Falls, the last falls on the Gaia Glen side. I got one of my favorite shots here last year. I'll pop that up on the screen if I can find it. Unfortunately, since last fall, this falls has acquired this big tree here. Another look at Erie Falls. Made it down to Water's Meet. The Glen Lay side here is still in shade, so I'm going to get the 24 to 105 out. Try to zoom in and get a shot of the cascades down here at Water's Meet, and then the falls there in the background. Before the sun gets up any higher, I'll go ahead and try to get this shot, and then I'll work my way on down to the lower three falls here before heading up Glen Lay. I think I got some decent shots here from Water's Meet looking up towards Wyandotte Falls. This little swirl here. Got several shots with that swirl. I think they turned out pretty good. I'm going to get a couple more shooting vertical. I'm going to get a few horizontal shots. See if they look worth anything. Then I'm going to head on down Kitchen Creek. Go check out Harrison Wright Falls, Sheldon Reynolds Falls, and Murray Reynolds Falls. I had saw pictures of this falls on Instagram a while back. Unfortunately, since my last visit, it has acquired this huge tree right in the falls. It's one of my favorite falls to photograph. And maybe I can still come away with something decent. This is Harrison Wright Falls. I think I might have mentioned earlier that last year when I came I was a little early, didn't have much color. This year I think I'm just a tad bit late, getting all yellow missed out on the orange and the red, but it's almost a sea of gold, so I'll take all the yellow. And it's probably still one of my favorite falls here. One last look at Harrison Wright Falls. Here's a look at Sheldon Reynolds Falls. Another one that's had a tree in the splash pool for a while. It has broke and moved on away from the falls, so I think I might have got a couple shots without the tree in it. Got one more falls down this run, and then we'll head back up Glen Lay side. That's where probably my favorite falls is, which will be Ozone Falls. That's been the one I've liked the most out of all my visits here. So, anyway, head down here and check out Mary Reynolds Falls, and then we'll head up that way. Here's a look down on Mary Reynolds Falls. See that big blob of foam there. Shot a long exposure, and I think I got a decent swirl out of that. We'll find out later. Gonna go down to the base, get a few shots, and then this is gonna be the furthest point we'll come down Kitchen Creek. I hadn't noticed this one before, but looks like Ricketts Glen's home to at least 2 arches. This one's pretty much at the base of Mary Reynolds Falls. I usually don't spend much time at this falls on my visits here, but being lower flow, these cascades over here just below the falls look good. Had a nice swirl there in the pool. Found an arch over there that I hadn't seen before. We're spending a little extra time down here today. Here's one last look at Mary Reynolds Falls. We'll go over and hit the trail and work back up towards the Glen Lay side. The sun has went away, the clouds have picked up, but with the clouds picking up, so's the wind, so probably be some faster shutter speeds being used on the way out of here. About halfway through with the trip, made it back up to Water's Meet. We're going to do like I usually do, stop and take a break here, drink some water. Getting pretty dried out. Cloud covers came. It's actually trying to sprinkle a little bit. Hopefully it don't do no more than sprinkle because I didn't bring my rain jacket. Anyway, I'm going to try to make this stop real quick. There was a big no thanks coming up the trail behind me. For those of you that don't know what a big no thanks is, it's a large group of people. So I'm going to try to take a real quick break and head on up the trail. Adjusted my comp just a little bit because this guy over here next to the tree photographing the falls as well. Cut him out of the shot. So there's seems to be a little more color on this side. There is some oranges still hanging around, so flow looks pretty good. I think we may come away with some nice shots up through here. This is a look at Wyandotte Falls. Should have got a video from the bridge down there, but here's a look at B. Reynolds Falls. Came across this scene at the top of B. Reynolds Falls. See all these bubbles and leaves swirling there. Getting a nice swirl, shooting long exposure. If they turned out any good, here's the shot. Here's a look at RB Ricketts. The little side falls there's just a trickle today. Main falls looks good though. Still some decent yellow and a little bit of orange hanging around. I think I came away with a couple decent shots. Here they are. Working up towards one of my favorite, probably my favorite falls here. I think I done mentioned it earlier. Got a little cascade downstream, but there in the background you can see Ozone Falls. Starting to try to rain a little bit. Paddling the weather and people now. A whole lot more people out getting closer to midday. One last look at Ozone Falls. Mentioned it's trying to rain back there at Ozone. I think it's trying to get a little sleet in with it. Might be a little wintry mix. Never fails. I didn't bring a rain jacket or an umbrella, so oh well. We're already here, so we're going to tough it out. Stopped at this little scene here. As you can see, we got some bubbles down here below the cascades. Get a couple of shots with long exposure. Got a few swirls. They turned out. Here they are. I always find this falls kind of tough to photograph. Here's a look at Huron Falls. Some nice color up through there. Hopefully these turn out. Next falls you come to, Shawnee Falls. This is a pretty photogenic falls. Got some nice shots here before. Kind of going from the side here this time. Got a lot of trees and junk below the falls there, so thought this would be my best bet. If it turned out any good, here they are. I mentioned earlier that I may backtrack and go back up the Gaia Glen side. I don't think the weather's any better now than it was earlier, so got two more falls left. FL Ricketts and Onondaga. I'll photograph those and then we'll hit across the Highland Trail through Midway Crevice and back to Lake Rose Parking. So I'll see you up here at FL Ricketts here in just a minute. Here's a look up at FL Ricketts. Here's a look at Onondaga Falls. This is going to be our last falls for the day. Hope everybody enjoys swirls as much as I enjoy photographing them. With all these falls being low flow, there's been an abundance of opportunities for some long exposure tricks there, getting some swirls. This falls is usually pretty photogenic. It is today as well. Still got some nice color going on around it. Going to get a couple more shots and then head back across the Highland Trail back to Lake Rose Parking. Maybe we'll see a few more of my little orange friends. Well, mentioned seeing some of my little orange friends. Hadn't anticipated on finding a black one. Little salamander friend. Well, I said that. There's my little salamander friend. There's my little orange friend. Hey, buddy. Walking along doing a time lapse and almost got my little buddy. This one is tiny. Well, I think I found all the red and orange leaves. The wind has put them on the ground over the past couple days. All the good colors have turned to carpet. Coming up on Midway Crevice. I'll give those folks a minute to get on through there, and then I'm going to do a time lapse through there. Had to swap the hat for a toboggan earlier. I guess that rain and sleet or whatever it was going on earlier brought through the colder weather. Feels like the temperature's probably dropped 15 degrees since this morning. So, I ain't gonna complain though. Glad it's cold weather time. Coming up on the last trail junction of the day. First one we came to this morning. Means we're almost back to the truck. My feet are ready. Well, after almost 8 hours, made it back to the truck. Had to go ahead and get some dry clothes on. Starting to try to rain or snow again. Looked like a few flurries trying to fall, but now it's kind of sounding like rain hitting the top of the truck. But anyway, glad to be back in the truck and warm. Had a good day here at Ricketts. One of my favorite places to come visit. A lot of waterfalls. Love waterfall photography, so right up my alley. Kind of a day late and $1 short. The better color up here was probably earlier in the week. Saw a few people that had been here, and there's a lot more orange and red. Looked like most of that was on the ground today, but still a lot of yellow. So plenty of color. I think should have come away with some good images, so fingers crossed. I kind of feel like I've probably took over 200 shots, so probably going to be a lot of editing. This is going to be a pretty lengthy video like usual probably. Seems like they usually run about 40 minutes or so. But I really enjoy coming here. Hope you enjoy watching the videos as well. If you enjoyed today's adventure, be sure to give me that thumbs up. It helps out the channel. If you haven't already while you're here, consider subscribing. Hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.